Hey, welcome to the live stream today. I just wanted to see if anybody wanted to talk about our recent video from Pennhurst. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about um, our upcoming investigation at Madison, which is a big deal to us. So when you guys can, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let's keep this ball rolling. Let's gotta wait a little bit here. Well, we haven't got anybody in here yet, but I'm sure we'll have somebody here soon. Hey, I see we got a viewer in here. I'm hoping everybody's had a great day. All right. Hey, Lexi, how's it going? Been a hot day here in Ohio. It is super hot. Just wanted to talk a little bit about it if you've seen our new video yet. Yeah, it's about to be triple digits this weekend. On Sunday, they said it could reach 105 to 108. The video's been out for about a week now. You go to our main YouTube page. It's right there. It's all for all the stuff that we did at Pennhurst while we were there. Yeah, if you get a chance to go check it out, let me know what you think. We got a new investigation coming out in about 2 weeks from Madison Seminary. So hopefully this one will be just as exciting. Plus, I'm trying out my new camera and audio. So hopefully this one is a lot better than my last couple live streams. Yeah, YouTube for some reason, I don't know if they're having glitches on everything, but a lot of people didn't know our video was up until I, sent it out on Twitter, and then people realized it was there. A lot of people haven't been getting notifications on that. So yeah, if you once you get a chance to check it out, comment on there. Let me know what you think. Um, and if you could share it, share the video with everybody so everybody else can see it. We're getting so close to our goal of 1,000 subscribers. We could just use everybody's help to share all our stuff, let people know about our channel. No, I'm not at Pennhurst right now. No, I'm at home. Pennhurst was a couple weeks ago, and the video's been up for about a week now. But I do have a live stream video from there as well, on the playlist. So, check them both out. Let me know what you think. Hey, Past Life, finally got a new camera. What do you think? Hopefully the picture quality and the audio is a lot better this time. I'm starting to get used to doing this whole live stream thing, so I went and bought a better camera. So want to do more of these. I have fun whenever I do them. Yeah, I heard about Skippy in the tunnels. We didn't really, can't say really meet him, but definitely something down there in those tunnels. We actually had uh, an instance where we actually knocked on the wall, and within a minute there was a loud bang from the other side of the wall. That actually kind of freaked me out. It's actually on the live stream too, from there when I did the live stream at Pennhurst. Um, I was the only one in the tunnel. Um, that place is definitely lives up to its reputation. I love that place. I plan on going back, possibly as soon as next spring. Definitely going back. Got to do a part two. Did everybody leave, or is this just not telling me the truth? Okay. Thank you, Lexi. I looked up and it said nobody was in the room or on the chat, and I'm like, where'd everybody go? I've been posting all my videos nonstop on Twitter. Um,
You want some?
Hey there, Paranormal World. You're in Australia. How's the weather out there? Hot? But yeah, we got our next video is going to be on just about 2 weeks. Once we go back to Madison Seminary, that location to me is pretty important. Um, I mean, it's a place that I actually got it scratched, and I had an EVP, come through saying you're gonna die, all this other stuff, and I want to know more about that place. I want to know more about what's in there, and especially the notorious Sarah's room, where I caught all that stuff. And I will be doing it by myself. I will be going in there alone, and I'm going to call out whatever is in there. A lot of people say I'm crazy for doing that, but I feel like I need answers to what happened to me the first time around. So hopefully you guys will be there. I'll be doing a live stream when I do that, from Madison. Um, just hopefully nothing bad happens to me. But yeah, if you guys, could share our videos, also and share the channel. Um, we could definitely use everybody's help to keep growing. Um, we want to be over 1,000 subscribers as quickly as we can. Um, that's our goal. And then after that, I plan on having an actual, um, for 1,000 subscribers, I plan on doing a giveaway, for a SB11 spirit box. Um, thank you, Paranormal World. Yeah, I'll do my best to be safe. Um, like I said, I have no idea what's going to happen this time. Last time, something didn't like me, and the thing is I wasn't even provoking anything. I wasn't trying to, make something happen. It just did. So apparently, something in that building doesn't like me. So we'll see what happens when we actually get there. And then also one of my investigators. This is going to be his first time at this location. Um, Mainly, his big thing is that he has no fear. So I'm going to put him to the test at this location to see what happens. There is the top floor of the building, which is the asylum. I'm actually going to take him up there. I'm going to give him a camera and leave him up there and see what happens. But every time we take him somewhere, it seems like the spirits there connect with him, and they will actually call out his name on the spirit boxes. Also, he's the one that gets touched and everything else when we go. He hasn't been able to go with us lately because of he actually works with me, so he couldn't take off to go to Pennhurst. So when this Madison one comes up, he promises that he's going to be there. And I promise you, this is going to be a completely different ball game than a lot of the previous locations that we've been to. A lot of people have told me that we need to get more evidence. We need to kind of push the envelope a little bit. And that's what I plan on doing, is actually pushing that envelope to a certain point to where nobody gets hurt, but we can actually get more evidence. So this next video is probably going to be insane, especially when I go up there by myself. And I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also nervous about it because I just hope I don't get something worse than I did the first time, which was I got scratched with 3 scratches on my leg. So if that's all I get this time around, I'll be glad. But you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for coming. It's definitely nice to be able to have people actually here. And if you guys have any questions, or you guys want to talk about any paranormal topic, I'm watching the comments over here on the side. So if you guys have any questions or comments about any of the videos that you guys have watched that we've had, feel free to comment, and I'll try to answer them. So oh, you're not late, Aaron. You're not late. Um, my the my dream explorer would definitely have to be Trans Allegheny Asylum. I've always been extremely fascinated with that place, and it is one of the locations that I want to get to as soon as I can, when I can financially be able to do it. But when I get there, I am definitely going to enjoy every second of it. Excuse me for just a second. All right. And Aaron, what is your dream explore? What place do you would love to go to actually, check everything out? Have you checked out our latest video from Pennhurst? How long has that been gone? And Chernobyl is definitely a location that would definitely be interesting to explore. But I think, you know, it's one of those, it's still kind of dangerous to go there. But yeah, that would definitely be a place that I would like to go to. I know there was a lot of bad things that happened there, but oh, really? Oh, man. I didn't know. I didn't know that asylum was torn down. There's also Sweetwater Springs Sanitarium in West Virginia, as well as along with Trans Allegheny. A couple places I want to go to soon would be Bobby Mackey's Music World. That's always been on the top of my list. But I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to do this a lot more. But unfortunately, financially, I just can't do it right now. But I do what I can when I can. So, I mean, I don't post a lot of investigation videos because I just really can't afford to go everywhere. But a lot of places charge an arm and a leg just to go there, just to get inside. But I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of traveling over the next several years. Yeah, that would. I hope you're doing better though after you had leg surgery. I mean, plus with this whole COVID-19 stuff going on right now, a lot of places are closing down. They're not letting people in. And that was the one thing that I was afraid of with Pennhurst was they were up there in the, I guess you could say the state was red with cases. And I was afraid they were going to cancel my Pennhurst trip, but luckily they didn't. And those guys, and if you ever go Pennhurst, they have the most amazing staff there. They definitely helped us out a lot. Yeah, the mask mandates. Yeah. Yeah, Ohio's, well, not all of Ohio, but 60% of Ohio is mandated to wear masks. I work in a automotive garage with no air conditioning, and I have to wear a mask all the time, and it's too hot. Definitely too hot, especially, this weekend's supposed to be triple digits. So it's definitely going to be a rough weekend, but Gotta do it. Gotta do it to survive. I just hope this all goes away within the next several months. I mean, I want 2021 to be a lot better year without all this crap. And hopefully, I can get out there and do more and more and more things. But the mandates are just killing me right now. Killing a lot of paranormal teams. A lot of paranormal teams can't travel. A lot of the Paracon stuff, is getting canceled. Mainly because of this COVID thing. And I would love to go to these things and learn more and more about the field so I can take that and actually apply it to when I go somewhere. But unfortunately, every time I get on Facebook, it's like canceled, canceled, canceled. So hopefully next year I can go to all the paranormal conferences and get to actually do something. I mean, as you can see down here at the bottom, I've got our PayPal account set up down here scrolling, because a lot of this stuff is not cheap. And I want to keep doing this. I want something other than a normal 9 to 5 job. I want to make this a full-time thing, but I can't do that until my channel reaches that monetization point where I can take take everything there and apply it to the channel and keep going and doing more and more stuff. Well, the big thing, Aaron, is just with your channel, don't get discouraged. I've had this channel now for 2 years, and I'm not even to 1,000 subscribers yet. Um, but whatever you do, just don't get discouraged. Just keep going. Because in time, things will build up for you. And yeah, making money on YouTube is hard. But as long as you don't give up and you keep going, there's been times where I've actually wanted to give up and quit doing the YouTube thing. Not quit paranormal, but quit sharing the videos and stuff on the channel, because I can get, like, our Pennhurst video got over 1,200 views on it so far, and according to the analytics, I picked up 8 subscribers off of 1,200 views. That's not that great. So I mean, I know I'm not the best at making videos. I'm learning, but there's such a learning curve that it's probably going to be a while before I start getting my videos to where other people will like them. And that's one of the reasons why when I go to Madison, I'm going to try to make my video a little bit better by actually pushing the envelope with whatever's there, and maybe actually get some really good activity going. But yeah, just keep your head up, keep pushing along, and your channel will take off. I've seen people that I follow on Twitter and on Facebook that have already blown past me as far as subscribers go, because mainly they do it every day, every like twice a week, they're posting videos from anywhere, cemeteries, they go wherever, and they're like blowing past me, which I understand. Well, that's another thing too, is that I'm learning how YouTube kind of works, as far as how they rank your videos. And there are certain ways that you put the tags in and all that stuff. Um, okay. But right now, if you type in Pennhurst State School and Hospital, we're like third on the list. So no, I don't use clickbait. I don't like that. Um, I would rather show the true side of the paranormal, because I had this discussion with other, paranormal teams, and a lot of times people when they watch paranormal TV shows, they watch some paranormal YouTubers, not all of them. They kind of amp it up as far as what they do in the video, and they do it more for the entertainment than they do for the actual research. I'm more of I want to show the real side of what it happens in an actual ghost hunt, instead of showing something that's made up, um, something that is not really there. And people have gotten so used to seeing things on TV and thinking that the paranormal field is one thing, and it's really not always like that. The paranormal shows on TV, they get good activity, they get good evidence, but you can go back the next day and nothing happens. And just like when I've been to a couple, like early in our investigations, the one place that we would used to go to was the Gill House, which is back in early season 1. We would go there, we'd have kind of a mediocre night, go back again a couple months later, and there'd be all kinds of stuff going on. Go back again, another mediocre night. Paranormal is not 24/7. It's whenever it wants to happen, and people don't understand that. And as long as you stay true to the paranormal research, and showing people what it's really about, that's all we ask. And then the only other thing, we ask, of people that watch our videos is, share them on Twitter, share them on Facebook, share them everywhere, because I want more people to see the videos in the way they are, than trying to make it look like, I faked it. I don't want to fake anything. And that's my biggest thing, is so many YouTubers out there fake stuff. So I just don't agree with that. All right. But yeah, just Keep doing what you're doing, Aaron. You'll be good. But kind of going off topic a little bit. Well, not off topic, but Madison Seminary is probably the one place that truly got me into the paranormal. And that place had so much history. It dates back to the Civil War, and it has got so much history all in one place that I don't know what I'm dealing with when I go there. Yeah, Aaron, I mean, going off what we were talking about, well, just don't, like I said, don't get discouraged. You will get there. Just, keep posting videos. Yeah, the Necrophonic app. One of my guys, his girlfriend actually has that app on her phone, and we used it at when we went to a location, and that app was going nuts. I mean, it was so relative to what we were trying to find out. It kind of freaked me out that it was actually very accurate. That was actually a really good app. But there is a lot of the stuff on phone apps are fake. So, but just keep, even if you got to go, to a cemetery, even if you got to go, don't get, caught trespassing anywhere, but, find locations everywhere. There's places to go. I went to Molly Stark Sanitarium, and I, just investigated on the outside of the building. I won't break in. I won't trespass anywhere to get video. But I love what I do, and I'm going to keep doing it. Even if my channel takes forever to grow, I'm still going to keep posting videos all the time. I'm not going to stop. All right. I mean, we surprisingly, I'm just thinking about this. On Twitter we have like 2,700 plus followers, but not everybody subscribes to our channel. And it's kind of like I'm trying to grow a fan base, but it's hard. It really is. I actually have on my phone yeah, you definitely don't want to get arrested if you're in law school. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no trespassing, no nothing. But yeah, I mean, cemeteries are open to the public, so you can always go there. I'm glad that you're with us for the long haul. I'm hoping in time, we get more and more and more, followers, subscribers. But I'm glad to know that you're definitely not going to unsubscribe. So I appreciate that. By the way, Aaron, what state do you live in? Because if I'm ever out that way, maybe do a collaboration or something. Sorry, I had some notifications on my phone there. But yeah, I mean, I'm always looking to kind of expand what we do, and collaborations are about a good way to get you some exposure, and you know, and it'll also help us with get more people to do it. I mean, my true goal for my channel is to get up there to the point where um, we can actually do a lot more traveling, and be able to go to more locations outside of Ohio. I mean, Pennhurst was probably the first one we did outside of Ohio. So, oh, you're in North Carolina. Okay. So, yeah, there's definitely, I heard definitely some pretty good places down in North Carolina. Definitely, I'll keep that, in mind. If we ever go down that way, I'll definitely let you know. Oh, cigarette smoke in the eyeball. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm willing to collaborate with anybody in the paranormal family, um, and I'm help other people. You help me, I help you, all that stuff. So you're in North Carolina, okay? So yeah, there's definitely I heard definitely some pretty good places down in North Carolina. Definitely keep that in mind if we ever go down there. We'll let you know. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm willing to collaborate with anybody in the paranormal family, and then help other people. You help me, I help you, all that stuff. So I see you wanted to join in on the video, which is cool. Do you have a webcam or anything?
I have a microphone.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a webcam. Oh, this is weird.
No, that's cool. I mean, it makes it a lot easier than trying to look over and read everybody's text.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind, but you popped it up in the comments and I clicked over and realized what it was kind of late. So,
Oh, you're fine.
but yeah, what state are you from?
Ohio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm originally from New Jersey. I used to go through Ohio all the time.
Yeah, Pennhurst is actually not too far from the New Jersey border, where Pennsylvania and New Jersey kind of meet. I was thinking about going over there to visit New Jersey while I was there.
Yeah, so I used to have family in Philadelphia, and that's why I liked Byberry so much. And I actually got into a lot of trouble years and years ago because of Byberry, but I never actually got in.
And it's a shame it's gone now.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what year they took it down, but they tore it down several years ago because they were actually having problems with people coming in and setting fires and just really heavy vandalism and lots of crime and stuff. It turned into like a drug haven.
Kind of sounds like this place by me called Molly Stark Sanitarium. The kids have just destroyed the inside of that place with graffiti. All the windows are busted out of it. I mean, they got security there all the time, but it's a shame to see that place that they're going to wind up probably tearing that place down before too long.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because people like us, we go in and we just want to look and take pictures and everything, and we don't hurt anything. But then I'm afraid to put any of it online because people will just follow your footsteps and go in and just start busting out windows and all.
Yeah, I'm actually a member of quite a few Facebook pages now that a lot of that stuff's happening. They tell you do not, give away the location of, where it's at, because so many places are getting torn, getting trashed from, vandals. Then
Yeah.
it's not worth getting a trespassing charge either.
No, no, it's not. I mean, I'm having the same problem even with cemeteries because I'm down south, and the issue I'm having is um, there's one cemetery that's pretty close to me, and I want to go in and do an investigation because it's a very old cemetery. But I'm afraid of people tracking the cemetery down because there's a Confederate section,
Hmm.
and I don't want people desecrating graves. And that worries me a lot, and I'm afraid people are going to figure out where I'm at. So I've kind of put off going there for now. So
Yeah, especially with the way everybody is right now.
yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm like, a town over from me about 2 weeks ago, they lynched a statue. And I'm like, what is it? Just a couple of days ago, they tore down a statue that was a monument in a Confederate cemetery. And I'm like, okay, I can't go over to this place just now. I have to wait a while. I have to wait for things to cool down before I put that on the camera because I don't know
Yeah,
how to go around that section and not let people know it's there,
right. Yeah, that's the big thing. I mean, there's a lot of historic cemeteries around me too that have a lot of Confederate stuff in there, and I mean, a lot of that stuff that people are just trying to tear it down, which kind of upsets me because I actually have family, from the South, and I'm proud to have, the Southern heritage part of it, and but it's just people just don't take the time to go back and reread history and actually find out how things really were, which is, but because the Confederate flag never was a symbol of, that they say it is, and people are just overexerting everything now, and it's just people are trying to erase history is what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of with the cemetery thing because I don't want them to go in and decide that it's okay to tear up their gravestones and everything. These are still people, no
Yeah,
matter how you look at it. They're still people, and they died a long time ago. And I'm really very much like, I'm one of these people where I don't step on the graves. When I'm in a graveyard, I try really hard not to step on people's graves. So I'm trying to make it so that they don't go in there and just tear this place apart. Because there's a lot of history in this particular cemetery, and I'm terrified to give anything away as to where it would be located, just because of that kind of thing. I just
Right.
don't want to see it desecrated.
Yeah, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff on, Facebook, about them, wanting to take down all these statues down south, like in Georgia and Alabama and all this stuff. And um, it's like, why? I mean, why are you trying to erase history?
Yeah, and it started where they were saying they wanted to move them to museums, but now they're all at the bottom of rivers and lakes and stuff. So, like, I don't know how I feel about it, because unfortunately I can see it from both sides. So I've got, two sides of my brain arguing with itself. But if they want to move the statues, then move them and put them someplace where they can still be used as a learning tool and to explain to people. But at the
Right.
same time, we had an issue at one of the colleges here where they took down a statue. And I went to an event probably about a week before they actually pulled the statue down. And they were talking about the statue, and then it went to another statue that they wanted to remove, and it was a giant spider. It wasn't even a person, it was a giant spider, and they wanted to remove that from the campus because it bothers people with arachnophobia. I wish I was
Wow.
making this up. So where does it stop?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the thing that one of the major cities, in Ohio is, Columbus, and they want to take down, the Columbus statue and in the actual like main courthouse, and it's like that's like 500 almost 500 years ago. I mean, why would you have any problem with what happened back then? If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately that's the point to a lot of them.
Yeah. But I mean, history is history. I mean, that's the thing, is it's in the past, and with everybody trying to rewrite history. I don't know. I mean, it's just things have just changed so much over the last couple decades that I can't even, wrap my head around it, really, because one minute, you got the way of life it was back in, like, say, 70s and 80s, and then now it's a complete opposite. So
yeah, I remember when I was in undergrad, and I left undergrad. I graduated in 2003, and I just remember I hung out with a group of people, and I mean, there was every kind of people in there. There was black, white, Asian, Middle Eastern, gay, straight, transgender. We had all of them, and nobody cared.
yeah.
I mean, just nobody cared about any of it. We got along, we hung out, we learned from each other, and none of this stuff bothered each other. And now it seems like the kids want to separate themselves into these little tiny subsections of each other. And I just don't understand why.
Yeah, I don't understand why either. Um, it's like I have no problems with anybody, regardless of race, color, um, you know, gender, whatever. And but when I'm seeing all this stuff on the news, and it's like I don't understand why everybody's trying to be listed as in their own group, and then instead of being together as one.
Exactly. Exactly. Was it united we stand, divided we fall?
Right. And that's where it's going.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And it's just one of them, that eventually, once maybe over time, people will finally realize that maybe what they were doing now was a mistake. But it's really hard to say.
Yeah, I figure probably when these kids start having kids, they'll go in the opposite direction or something, I guess, because that's most of this is just rebelling against their parents. The
Yeah, it's
millennials
mostly
hating on the boomers.
yeah, it's all the younger generation. I mean, in that when the whole thing with that one cop and all that stuff was going on in Cleveland, right by me, they 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 had all the protesting going on, and it was peaceful. And then all of a sudden, these younger kids that were teens to like maybe mid 20s started trouble, and then the next thing you know, the entire downtown Cleveland was getting trashed. Cop cars were getting burned. I mean, it just got completely blown out of proportion. And it's like, why are you doing this to your town that you grew up in? But
Yeah, plus, after the whole thing with George Floyd and everything, they really did have almost the entire country behind them. And then once, they started trashing all the cities and everything, people started backing away again. And I think it was a shame.
yeah, and I mean, I've seen plenty of videos where the older generation, you know, we're trying to tell the younger generation this is not the way you handle it, and none of the younger generation are listening, and that's the big problem is that they're trying to do things, you know, to start a new way of things, but they're not gonna nobody's gonna come out of this in the positive if they don't, change their ways in any way.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm listening to the students that I go to school with and all, and I'm a lot older than a lot of the students. And there's a disconnect between where change started, because I actually had one kid tell me that I was a unicorn because I don't care about things like race and gender and sexuality and all. It's like you are what you are, and that's cool. But this one fella turned around to me and he said, "Oh, well, you're a real unicorn because most of your generation is like really racist and transphobic and stuff." And I'm like, my generation is the one that started throwing up gay pride parades and all. We were the ones that were fighting these cities and everything to have the gay pride parades and all. So where did that come from?
Right.
So I don't. There's a major disconnect. They definitely think it started with them.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, though, I mean, a lot of people don't take the time to look back on history to actually find out like what they're trying to do or what their cause is always been there, but they're actually making it worse by their actions.
Yeah, plus they're using the same tactics. I mean, violence has been a thing since forever. And they keep on saying, "Oh, well, peace doesn't work. We have to get violent." Well, violence has been getting used for generations, and it hasn't accomplished as much as peace has. And they
Right.
don't see it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just I don't know. I get up every day. I'm just yeah. I go and I do what I have to do for the day. I try not to pay attention to the news or anything like that, because it's always something bad going on somewhere. So
Yeah, I just stick to the ghosts.
yeah, that's all I do. I mean, that actually, and a lot of people ask me why I do the paranormal stuff. I'm like, honestly, it it's my way of relaxing, you
Yes.
know. And a lot of people go jogging, or a lot of people, you know, do play video games or do this and that to unwind. Mine is just to go into a building and find out if there's anything there, and if there's anything there, communicate with it.
Yeah.
So I've actually got my two oldest kids now are um, part of my team, and they love doing it. They find it interesting. So
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's a nice little escape.
especially trying to, learn and understand things that we don't know anything about. I mean, that just, it's like never leaving school. You're still learning every day, but it's on a certain topic instead of, the basic stuff.
Yeah.
In the paranormal field, there's so many unanswered questions that I don't see anybody ever solving the questions anytime soon, because we still don't even scientists don't even understand the paranormal side of it. So maybe one of us one day will actually solve the equation on that one.
Yeah. And that's why I got to be honest with you. I went back to my old film camera because I take it out to places and I like to take pictures on the film, because if something does show up, when you have a digital camera, they turn around and they say, oh, well, you photoshopped it or it was manipulated. But if you've actually got negatives, you can see it on the negative, which means
Right.
the photo wasn't played with.
Right. I mean, I actually went out and bought a couple of the old Polaroid cameras. And I actually used them on the first time when we went to Madison Seminary. I took a couple pictures down in the basement area, and what it looks to be is two apparitions sitting at the dining room table waiting for their food.
Oh, cool.
And but a lot of people are like, oh, that's just lighting and all that stuff. I'm like, it's a Polaroid. It takes one type of picture. There's nothing I can really doctor there, to make it look that way. So, but yeah, Polaroids are a really good thing too to use. The film though is expensive now.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand. I mean, I bought the cameras at Goodwill for like $1, but the film for 8 pictures is like $20.
Yeah, that's worse than the film camera.
Yeah. I mean, because you only get 8 pictures out of every cartridge, and that's it. So.
Yeah, I bought a 3-pack of film the other day. It was like $25 for the 3-pack, but there's 22 images on each roll. So.
Right. You definitely get a lot more that way.
Yeah. Plus, the camera is like 100% manual. Like, I actually have to take the film out and unfurl it and feed it in and crank it into place. It's not a drop-in, so everything is completely manual on this thing. And it's like the pictures will come out grainy and stuff like that, and I have to wait because I have to go get the film developed and all that. But if anything's going to show up, it's going to show up on that thing, and I'll have a backup with the negative. So.
Right. I mean, even the old school disposable cameras.
Yeah.
Those work really well too.
Yeah, we just had a camera shop that opened up in the area, and I've had my camera since I was like 13 years old or something, and we lost all of our camera places because digital moved in, so all the camera shops closed. But we had one open up out of the blue, and they'll develop film and everything. So I went down and bought film off of them, and I've been taking it out again.
Yeah, that's the big thing around where I'm at too. Everything, the camera stores that we have here, they only sell and work with digital stuff, not the actual old school, negative film. So, I mean, I think Walmart, they still do disposable cameras and stuff like that, but they're expensive. So.
Yeah, and we still have like Walgreens will still develop film and everything like that, but I like to do both color and black and white, and they're not careful with them. I had a whole series that I had done in an old mill village, and I had done it all in black and white, and when I got them back, they were all tinted green. And they had completely messed up the negatives while they were doing it, and there's nothing I can do even if I have them reprinted, they're going to come out green.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of that, and a lot of these the younger kids that are doing the film stuff now, a lot of them don't really know how to do the old negative development. That's probably why it got screwed up. Is because they really didn't know how to properly process it to get it to turn out right.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, black and white film, you've got to be super careful with it because you can screw it up really easily. Color film's not as difficult, but the black and white film, for some reason, is harder to develop. I'm not using the black and white as much for ghost hunting. Well, I guess I should, but I'm using color for now.
Yeah, color black and white. I mean, either one would work. Is working would work good in the paranormal. Um, but I know that black and white a lot of times will show different um, things than the color will. Um, it'll actually you'll bring out different things that would normally not show up on the color, but it'll show up on black and white. So I mean, either way, I mean it's still a good thing that you use the old camera still.
Yeah, I just have to get it transferred over because, like I did the devil's tramping around the other day and I took the camera out, but I haven't gotten the film developed yet. So the video's out, but the pictures aren't. So I got to get them moved over to disk and then Instagram it.
Okay. We'll definitely be looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff on there. I started doing that Randonautica app too, so I got a bunch of abandoned buildings I need to check out now thanks to that app. But I took pictures of a lot of them too, just kind of on the outside. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Sometimes you can be surprised and actually capture stuff in the windows and stuff too.
Yeah, I stumbled on this old, apparently historically significant church. I didn't know it was significant when I was there photographing it, but I'd love to find out who owns it. I can't find information on who owns it because I would like to go inside and see the inside. But everything's locked up. But I'd love to take pictures of the inside of that because the glass is all frosted right now.
Yeah, those old buildings. I mean, they had a lot of the older churches and hospitals and stuff. They always had beautiful architecture, and also a lot of them. The churches had those beautiful stained glass windows. That's the one thing that I always liked about the older churches.
Yeah, this one didn't have stained glass. It had the archway windows, but they were just white frosted. They didn't have the stained glass. This guy, he was starting a new religion. It was a break off from, I think they said, Methodist, and he was starting a new religion. So it's a really basic, like, schoolhouse style church, and there's no stained glass, but it's very, very plain. But
Right. So what kind of other major places do you got down there by you?
um, I haven't found a lot of major places. Most of the major places that are here are really tightly secured. Um, we actually have an underground here, but there's no way of getting into it. You've got to know somebody to get into it. It used to actually be like I think it was like a nightclub and a restaurant or something.
Okay.
And there's a shopping center, and now that's on top of this underground. And they only recently opened it up and went down there, but then they sealed it up again. So that's the only thing I know of, but I'd love to get down there. There's that historic cemetery. Most of the stuff, unfortunately, in North Carolina is up in the Asheville area. I'd love to do an investigation of Biltmore, but I don't think they're going to allow that. But yeah, most of the stuff that we've got is up in the Asheville area, and that's about 5 hours from me.
Yeah, I'm kind of like when you were talking about that underground. I'm kind of wondering what they saw down there that they sealed it back up.
Yeah, they did a news report, and it's apparently, from what I saw, it's not a big area, but I don't understand why they have it sealed up so tightly because it was a nightclub recently. Because they said, they were talking about some of the famous names that had performed down there, and one of them was REM. And I mean, that's a recent ban. So I think it's been within the last 20 years that they closed it all down. And I mean, they've got that sucker sealed tight.
Well, there's definitely something down there they don't want people to see down there then.
Yeah. What else do you have planned?
Well, like I said, I'm going to Madison in just over 2 weeks. After that, I want to do Mansfield Reformatory, which is the old Mansfield prison that they shot the movie Shawshank Redemption at.
Yeah.
I've been dying to get in there. Um, they say that is probably one of the most haunted locations in Ohio because that place saw um, so much murder and stuff in that building that I mean it made Ghost Adventures. It's been on all the major ghost hunting shows, but it's just one of them. It's so close to me that it's like I want to go, but to go there overnight is like almost $1,200 for an entire night.
Ooh.
And they allow up to, well, right now because of the whole COVID thing, I think they're only allowing like up to 10 people. But still, that's like $120 a person, and plus then you got to put a deposit down, which is like almost half down, just to save your spot. So I think that one I might have to put on the back burner for a minute. But yeah, they got Fairfield County Infirmary, which was just on Destination Fear. The guy that owns Madison Seminary actually just bought the Fairfield building, and he actually restored it to save the property. But now he's letting people back in there to do paranormal stuff. So I think I'll be going there after Madison. But other than that, I basically go wherever I can. So wherever my money lets me go, I should say.
Did you ever consider the Gettysburg Battlefield?
Yeah, I'm kicking myself in the butt right now because when I was at Pennhurst, on my way back, I actually drove right past there. And I was planning on stopping, but I decided, not to. But I kind of wish I did because I would have loved to see the place and actually do some ghost hunting there.
Yeah, there's a building out there I want to do a little bit of research on. It's years ago when I was a teenager, my family used to go to Gettysburg all the time. And we did a haunted horseback ride through the Gettysburg Battlefield this one time. And there's a little building out there where they actually used to do the surgeries during the Civil War where they would cut off limbs. And what they told us was on the top floor, which I guess would be the attic, they would do the surgery, they would remove the limb and then throw the limb out the window into a pile down on the ground. Now this building, the window won't stay closed. It's in the historic register and everything, and it's right there on the side of the battlefield. And they're constantly going up and closing the window, and then the window just opens right back up on its own. And I would love to go up there and do an investigation on that building.
Yeah, that definitely sounds interesting. I would definitely put a static night vision camera on that window.
Yeah.
Just to see if it would open without anybody even anywhere near it. And that would definitely be an awesome capture to be able to capture that on film or on video. I've seen videos though, people taken out there supposedly, apparitions and stuff. But like when we were talking earlier, a lot of the stuff on YouTube, I don't know if I believe it or not.
Yeah, a lot of it is fake. But the issue that you've got with Gettysburg also is when people get paranormal videos and stuff like that, people immediately think it's fake because they don't interact with their current surroundings. And I think the issue that you have in Gettysburg is I think a lot of it is residual. I don't think you're actually seeing real apparitions. I think a lot of it's just residual energy. but you've also got apparitions at the same time. And especially with Gettysburg, there are so many stories from people. I mean, they have books and books on that stuff.
Yeah, that place definitely had a traumatic, during that time. So you got to imagine how many, a lot of those soldiers were just buried in just shallow graves, and I don't know how many of them are still. I heard they're still finding bones and stuff out there that are like popping up out of the ground, but just not having any name mark or anything. I mean, a lot of them are probably not even, settled. They're not crossed over. They're still looking for everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it at all.
I definitely would have to put that one on my bucket list.
And so I'm kind of surprised I don't get more where I'm at. Because I actually live in an area that at one point was a Civil War battleground. There's nothing of it left anymore. They used to do reenactments and everything over here, but there's pretty much none of it left anymore. They've completely developed everything. But where I live is actually on a Civil War battlefield. And I don't get much action out here at all. I've taken the camera out into the yard and everything, and I don't get much.
I've heard that a lot of times too, if you take a metal detector out into those fields, you can find the bullets and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Buttons are a big thing. A lot of people go out and collect the buttons from the uniforms and all.
Yeah. Well, definitely something to look into is checking out Gettysburg.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to get back up there one of these days. When I was a kid, I was so disinterested. Now it's like I want to get back up there.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's so many places across the United States that I want to go, but it's one of them. I can't do it until I'm financially able to go. So, because there's the Axe Murder House, I would love to go there because it's only like 8 hours from where I'm at now, which would be a nice trip. Um, there's also what is it? There's another place um, out that way too. I can't remember the name of it now, but I want to be able to travel to every state and see all the haunted locations and see what I can come up with.
Yeah, same.
I mean,
I'm in the same boat. The whole financial thing is an issue.
yeah. And my goal is but for the next year or two, I want to make it to Tombstone, Arizona.
Nice.
To the old Western town that's still there. A lot of the bars and stuff, are still there, and you can just imagine the activity that they probably get from there. They got a museum that's got, all the old artifacts and stuff. And a lot of times those things are, they got spirits attached to a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
I want to get out there, and they do the reenactments too. So I mean, that's got to stir up activity too.
Oh yeah, definitely. What's the one where they still take the cows through town? Is that the same place? Is that Tombstone?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would definitely.
I've looked them up on Facebook and on YouTube. They actually do just like the old OK Corral shootout. They redo that. I mean, they do all kinds of stuff. So it'd be cool to see that, but then just kind of makes me wonder, like, what kind of activity does that actually stir up?
Well, I probably a little bit of both. Probably the good and the bad.
Yeah.
But again, you got to figure it's not like they can shoot you.
Right.
So,
But yeah, I mean, I've been into the paranormal, for years, and I've only been actually out investigating for about 4 years, and I'm still learning that there's so much more to the paranormal than we can ever imagine. That makes me want to go to more locations and actually keep going.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I had documented the house I grew up in. But I moved out of there in 2002, and I never thought to document any of it. But the house I grew up in was active and creepy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, is a lot of these, people don't really talk about it much, but a lot of these, just residential houses. I mean, there's so many places that are just active, but people are afraid to get ridiculed by trying to sit there and say their house is haunted.
Yeah, I had I only did it because I had witnesses to one of the events that happened in the house. I was staying in the house by myself at that point. My parents had come down to North Carolina already, and I was in
Right,
college. And I had 3 or 4 of my friends over, and we were talking in the master bedroom. It was like a shotgun style house, and it was actually 4 floors with the basement and the attic.
okay.
And we were on the bedroom floor, which was technically the 3rd floor. And everybody was kind of hanging out there talking, and then all of a sudden somebody sprinted from one end of the attic right above us to the other end and then back. And there was nobody up there. I mean, the door was locked and everything. We know there was nobody up there, and it scared the heck out of my friends. And they just, a couple of them refused to ever come back to the house. I had to go out and meet them someplace or go to their houses. They wouldn't come back into my house. But,
Yeah, I mean, probably, that would be definitely something that, that would have been nice to have, like, video footage or audio footage to be able to hear it. I can
yeah.
guarantee that probably sounded really, really, really cool hearing the footsteps. So,
Yeah, and I mean it was somebody like full out sprinted, and it wasn't that long of an attic, but somebody full out sprinted from one end to the other and back. And then
you ever,
you've heard of the Hat Man ghost, right?
yeah,
I used to see him all the time in the basement. So that was my paranormal experience. It took me a while to get back into investigating because that house scared me so bad. Especially the attic incident was the worst though.
right. Did you ever do any background on the actual property or anything like that?
We had some background on it, but we didn't have a whole lot of background. Um, it was an attached house, and it at one point had actually been one home. And at some point in time, they built a wall down the center of it and sold it off as 2 houses. There was an old World War II parachute hanging up on the wall in the attic, and it's, as far as I know, it is still there because I didn't take it with me. But as far as the families and all that lived there, I don't know. The house was over 100 years old when I left. So I really don't know any of the history. I'm not even sure I could find it at this point. Just because of the way the house is broke up. And I know we had issues with a neighbor, but I think she just had dementia. I don't think it was anything paranormal. I think she just had dementia. But who knows?
Right. But I mean, it's one of them. I mean, it's worth, maybe just looking into. I mean, you may be able to kind of get some closure on that if, looking, trying to find anything that, just maybe something traumatic happened in the house like over 100 years ago that's still kind of replaying over and over. I mean, that was the only time you heard the footsteps?
Yeah, that was the only time I ever heard anything like that. You know, it was one of those houses where you always felt like there was something wrong. Like you always felt like there was somebody there. Actually, I developed this horrible fear of an electrical fire while I was in that house. And I could never figure it out, but it was like a year I spent constantly going around feeling the walls and everything for heat. Because I was convinced the house was good. There was going to be an electrical fire and the house was going to burn down. And I was terrified of it. And as soon as we left that house, that fear disappeared. So I often wondered if something had happened with the electrical in the house.
Right. Maybe there was at one point, maybe a fire that actually took place in the house from an electrical fire, that somebody got hurt, somebody got electrocuted or something.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
They probably were trying to have you feel what they felt during that time.
Yeah, it was weird. And that didn't even start happening until after my parents had already moved out, because I was in the house for about a year and a half by myself. And for that whole year and a half, I was like that. I was constantly convinced the house was going to burn down from an electrical fire. I don't know why I never called anybody to come in and look at the electrical to check it, but I never dawned on me to do that. I just kept running around feeling all the walls all the time. Even my friends were like, what's the deal?
Right. I mean, that definitely could be, had something to do with, the paranormal, that something was trying to give you, an indication that maybe something did happen there, and that, maybe would have been a problem, or there used to be a problem, something that they were trying to get you aware of.
Yeah, because I know when we first moved into the house, my parents had the electrical redone, because I know the wiring was bad in the house. But again, I was a little kid when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So by that point, the wiring was 15 years old. So who knows?
That's that's definitely something that, if you ever get a chance to, I would definitely look into it. Definitely look into the full history on the property.
Yeah, I'll have to see how I can figure out. I'll have to figure out how to do that. It's got to be someplace. All I've got is kind of word of mouth, unfortunately. I know
Well,
that whoever owned it before us did a lot of alterations to the house, and not for the better. So,
I know a lot of this stuff is all public record. So, I mean, you might be able to come up with something if you look online. There's might be something there like public records of like who owned the house since the beginning, and all that stuff. You might be able to dig a little deeper and find out if anybody died in the house or whatever, because all that should be in the public records.
yeah. Okay. I'll have to look and see what I can find. It would just be interesting to know. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it now. I haven't lived there since 02, but I'm kind of curious.
Right. I mean, like I said, it definitely, would help you, kind of give you a peace of mind, knowing, all that stuff you were feeling and heard, and all that stuff, kind of give you a little bit of closure on maybe understanding why it was happening or why you were feeling that way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'll have to see what I can dig up. Hey, it could be video content.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's paranormal. I love it. And it to me, it's a pure adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, it's one of them. I want to show the people that watch my videos. I want to show that the paranormal doesn't always happen, like that. You're not going to just walk into a place and have it go insane. So then
Yeah, and you're not going to find something every time you go out.
No, not at all. I mean, I've been to some places, like I said, the Gill House, that is down by Mansfield Prison. A couple of times we went there. Not, it was very, very little knocking here or floorboard squeak here. But then there was times where we were out there, and you can hear people walking in the attic. You can we caught like orb flying, nice size orb flying. We got spirit boxes were going haywire, talking, and it's like you never know until you actually go into the place.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more videos from you too.
Yeah, you too. I mean, unfortunately it's mostly cemeteries for me right now, but I'm trying to see how I can branch out.
Like I said, cemeteries sometimes, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, you can go into a cemetery and nothing happened, or you can go into a cemetery and literally get the crap scared out of you while you're in there. So it's one of them. I mean, cemeteries work. That's what a couple of my videos that I've done in the past were from a cemetery where my dad's actually buried. I went to visit him, and I decided while I was out there, I'd go check out the old side of the cemetery from back in the 1800s, early 1900s. And it was actually, I got a lot of good responses on, my SB7 and stuff like that. And a lot of them were children's graves. I was getting children's voices on my device. So you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. Yeah, I used the Necrophonic app at the graveyard. There's a graveyard pretty close to my house, and I went out there just to kind of test it out. And I think I had 2 voices coming through. I can't remember their names. I know one of them was Mark, and I can't remember what the other one was, but they were almost having a conversation with me, and it was kind of cool.
I actually, I have the app on my phone called the Portal, and it's supposed to be used through the Portal device. But I use it on my phone, and it works just as well on my phone as it would through that, really expensive Portal device. So,
Oh.
yeah, I was just reading Steven's thing there, and
Yeah, I don't know if it's yeah, that's about the underground that I was talking about, the underground nightclub. I don't know if that's why they sealed it up. It could just be that they sealed it up because the nightclub went under. And I mean, I don't know if it's that terrifying or not, but they might just not want people down there. But you would think they would use it for storage because there's a strip mall on top of it. So
right. I mean, that's the thing. That's the mystery, is why is it sealed?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think if Dan Bell got down there, because I know Dan Bell had talked about it at some point in one of his videos. I can't remember if he actually got down there or not. But apparently, occasionally they'll open the sucker back up. But it's a very rare occurrence. It was big news when they opened it up a couple years ago. It was all over the news. They did a news tour of the underground, and it looks like a cave. But I don't know. Not sure why they have it sealed off so hard. It would make a good storage area.
Yeah. I mean, never know what could have really happened down there either. So,
yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know why a club like that would just go out of business. Because, I mean, they were talking, like I said, they were talking about some of the bands that had performed down there and everything. And some of them were pretty big name bands. And it's like, why does a place like that go under?
right.
So
I know there's a couple like places out in like Las Vegas that some of the bars out there are supposedly extremely haunted. That I wouldn't mind going out there and checking those out, because supposedly all this like mafia stuff happened in them and stuff. You never know. I mean, mafia ran a lot of stuff back in the day.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, if you want mafia stuff, your best place to do that's Philadelphia. Believe it or not.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Yeah. My family is from Philadelphia, and my parents told me that the whole town at one point was pretty much run by the mob. So I know where I
Yeah,
was from, it was just gangs. I know there was some mob activity where I came from, but there was a lot of gangs and stuff, and I know it's a lot worse now.
yeah. I've heard that Philadelphia is getting pretty rough.
Yeah. Well, I was raised in Bayonne, New Jersey, and they have a big park down there, it's Hudson County Park. And when I was growing up, they used to find bodies and everything there all the time. Plus, we had numerous like projects and stuff like that, so we had some gang problems and all. And the projects buildings, they got so bad they actually took them down and built like single level housing, like affordable housing instead.
Right. That kind of sounds like the town that's right next to me, Lorraine. I mean, probably a good 40%, maybe 45% of the city is just all like drug houses and stuff like that. And it's bad it's bad there. I mean, it's like in the news all the time for shootings and everything lately. Like something's going on out there, but
Yeah, it's drugs. It's usually can be traced back to drugs.
yeah. I mean, there's been innocent kids that have actually gotten killed during the gunfire, and because it probably did go back to the drugs, but whoever did the shooting, didn't care who they were shooting at. So
Yeah, they just spray and pray, and it's usually the innocents that catch them.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I I'm hoping that you know your channel grows. I'm hoping my channel keeps growing. Just you know, just don't get discouraged because I've been, like I said, doing this for over 2 years on YouTube, and it's been a slow, bumpy ride.
Yeah, I figure it would be nice if people watched, but it gives me the motivation I need to get out there and explore things that I've been saying for years I'm going to go out and check out someday. Now I'm
Yeah,
actually doing it.
yeah. I mean, like I said, to me, it's a release from reality. It
Yeah.
gives me a chance to actually just unwind, relax, get my mind off of everyday things that I do I'm going through. It just kind of like frees my mind.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm in school and it helps me wind down and kind of exit reality for a little bit, but unfortunately once I go back to school, my content's going to slow down a lot because I have to focus on my education. That always comes first.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I would definitely, I thought about going back to school quite a few times, but I just trying to figure out when I would actually have time because I'm a single parent with 3 kids and they live with me. But my two oldest now, my oldest is 20, my then 18. So they're pretty much, they do their own thing. But I have a 11-year-old, so she keeps me busy all the time.
Oh yeah.
So it's one of them. It's like I got to work to provide for them, but at the same time, I want to do my paranormal because it gives me a chance to kind of get away from everything for a minute. But it's just nice that my kids are my two oldest kids. My youngest, she wants to be part of my team, but I keep telling her she's still too young yet. Because I don't want
Yeah,
anything
she
bad.
gets scared real good.
But I mean, I'm glad they're all into something the same thing I am. They don't look at me like I'm crazy. So
Yeah, I haven't told my family that I do this yet. It's just me and my mom. My mom's older and she's handicapped, so I'm kind of a caretaker for her. But I haven't told her I have a YouTube channel or anything yet. So
yeah, a lot of people I know they think I'm crazy for going out and going in the dark and go places that anything can happen. And I'm like, I'm not afraid of doing all that. I mean, Pennhurst is the one place I thought I would be a little on edge, and I actually felt at home, if that makes sense.
yeah, no, it
Uh,
makes perfect sense.
I mean, it felt like I was extremely comfortable being there, and I was in a lot of the buildings by myself, and I was not afraid, of anything. So, if anything, I was definitely trying to get, something to talk to me. But that place, have you ever been to Pennhurst?
I haven't. I've driven past it 100,000 times, but I've never actually gone in. I'd love to get in there one day.
They're they just tore down two of the buildings because they were unsafe. But most of the buildings are still there, and all the underground tunnels are still there. Um, that place definitely has an energy of its own. As soon as you walk in, you can feel it.
Do they let you into the underground tunnels and all?
Yeah, yeah, they do. Except for one tunnel, which is they're saying it's starting to collapse. They won't let anybody go in there, but all the other underground tunnels, most of the buildings there, they said if you want to go in them, just let us know. We'll unlock the doors and you guys can go in. So,
Wow.
I mean, that one cost me a little bit to get in there, but it was definitely well worth it. I mean, it's one of the most haunted locations in America, so definitely lived up to its reputation, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the issue I'm finding in some of these places, and I understand why they would charge and all, but I can't afford to pay to get into some of these places.
Yeah, I mean, some of these places are just ridiculous. What they charge for to get in, but a lot of the places, aren't too bad to where it's manageable. If I have everybody on my team go and pitch in, then it's manageable. But like with Pennhurst and Ohio State Penitentiary, those ones are the hard ones for me to get into because I usually only have like 8 people going. So for like $1,200 divided by 8, I mean that's a good chunk of change just to come up with to be able to go. So
Yeah, see,
that's
that's
why I'm
part of the
like,
problem I have. I don't have a team, so it's just me. And, aside from it being very expensive for just one person, a lot of these places won't let you in if it's just one person.
yeah,
So,
I know a lot of the places I've been, it's a minimum of at least 2 people. So, but a lot of places with this whole pandemic, I mean, they're limiting, the amount of people that can even go in there. So it makes it even harder to come up with the money on some of these.
yeah. Well, at least they're still open, like you said. You thought the one trip was going to get canceled. At least they're still letting you in to do that.
Yeah. But it was one of them. All this was ramping up with the COVID and everything. I started getting really nervous that I was going to get a phone call or an email saying they have to cancel, but it didn't happen. I was able to go, which I'm glad, but I'm just hoping this stuff, all this crap in the world, it just goes away to where we can get back to being normal again.
Yeah, I'm ready for this to be over.
I mean, people are so afraid to go outside anymore. It's kind of like, I don't know, like nobody really wants to associate with anybody, you know. And I want to be able to get out there and actually meet people and do collaborations and stuff like that. But so many people are afraid to be around other people. It's like nobody wants to do collaborations right now. So
Yeah, I know it. I figure as long as you got a mask on, I don't have a problem wearing the masks. I hate them, but I'll wear them. So we've got a. I might have to put it on the back burner too. Our next door neighbor, there's a possibility they've got COVID. So I'm sitting here like, great.
yeah, yeah. That see, with the whole COVID thing. I believe that it's there, but I don't believe it's as bad as they say it is. Because if the look at the amount of people that have survived and recovered, they're not reporting that. They're only reporting the bad stuff.
Yeah. The only problem I have with it is if when you get it, it's all the stuff that it leaves you with. And
Yeah,
that's what scares me the most because I mean they've had people that have had to relearn how to talk and how to walk, and you've got heart problems and lung problems and all kinds of stuff, and that scares me. That scares me more than dying from it.
yeah. I mean that's the big thing. Is like I have to wear a mask where I work, and it's one of those. I don't know if I'm gonna get sick from wearing the mask too long or just coming in contact with somebody because you wear those masks for too long, it starts to dry your throat out. It starts, it's, I do it because I have to, not because I want to.
Yeah, it's the same here. We can get fined for it. We've actually got a city that mandates them to be worn inside your own house. Thankfully, it's not where I live, but it's one of the cities in the state. They've actually mandated wearing the masks inside the house if there's other people in the house with you, and that includes your family. And I'm like, that's not feasible to do because, like, for myself, I can wear them for a period of time, but after a while, I start to panic because I really can't breathe that well with them on,
Right.
and I have to take the mask off at some point. Like I'll run outside or something and take the mask off. But I don't know how they're getting away with that in that city. Like, oh, I've got family members. I have to wear a mask 24 hours a day. Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, do you wear the paper ones, like the actual surgical mask, or do you have one of the cloth ones?
I have the cloth ones. I
I
I
just
was I have one that's they were just talking about them on the news. It's got the little plastic piece to make it easier to breathe. And they started on with those going, oh, they're terrible. You can't use them. They don't stop the spread, but there's still 3 pieces of cloth between my mouth and that hole and a charcoal filter. I'm like, it's fine. Just, but I wear that one usually because I can breathe with it on. But some places get really upset about it. So I pull out one of the ones that only has 2 pieces of cloth and they feel better because it doesn't have the plastic piece. It makes no
yeah.
sense.
No, it don't. I mean, they've already said the masks don't necessarily protect you. It protects the person around you.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't do anything for you.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping this all blows over by the end of the year to where 2021 will be a much better year.
I don't think it can get much worse in 2020. I probably shouldn't say that before the universe takes it as a challenge.
Yeah, yeah. This is definitely one of the worst things I've ever been through is this whole pandemic. I think for most people it is, but this is something that nobody saw coming either.
Yeah, no, it just came out of nowhere and it moved so fast. Because it was like,
Yeah,
it felt like one day they were announcing that this thing was happening in China, and then all of a sudden somebody over on the West Coast had it, you know?
I mean, I felt bad for a lot of people that were on those cruise ships that were stranded out at sea.
Oh,
You know,
God. Yeah, that was horrifying.
I would hate being stuck out on the water for weeks.
Yeah, I
And
can't stand the idea of a cruise anyway, because I don't like the idea of being trapped on the boat, even for, normal cruise length. But, ugh, that was nightmare fuel.
yeah, and then I've actually, I wanted to go and buy myself an RV for when I do start, traveling more. I'm finding out that people are buying RVs more than now than ever because no one wants to fly anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I found an RV, but it was like an hour and a half away from me. I get down there and it was already gone. I'm like, the guy's like, yeah. He goes, we get them in, and they're gone. I'm like,
Wow. I always thought the RV was a good idea, but it's they were talking about that on the news the other day, and I even said to my mother, so basically you're buying an RV, you're stocking it up, you're getting in, you're driving someplace and then staying in the RV. So you just went from lockdown in your house to locking down in an RV someplace else that you're not going to get out and explore because you're afraid
right.
of getting sick.
But I can see why people don't want to fly either because you're more contained in an airplane, though.
Yeah, I don't like to fly anyway. Pandemic or no pandemic, I try to avoid airplanes.
I've actually never been on an airplane.
Oh, I've been on several. Not an enjoyable situation. It really isn't. You're packed in there like a can of sardines, and there's always a drunk person that's screaming, and it's just not a fun experience.
Yeah, I figure if I'm going to go anywhere, I'd rather drive anyways.
Yeah,
You're
same.
more,
Because you can get out and stop and look at things on the way.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how the rest of this year plays out. I mean, who knows? It could, there's so many conspiracy theories too on why this is here, but but I'm wondering if by the end of the year if it's just going to vanish like it never happened or what. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious to see too. I don't know how I feel about the conspiracy theories, but I don't know. It's starting to make me wonder a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just everybody says it's just weird how it happened on the presidential election year. But still, I think there's something more to it, but we'll never know.
Yeah, no, we'll never know. That's not something we'll ever find out. But there's an awful lot of people waiting to see if it just sort of disappears after November.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna cut the live. I'm
Okay.
getting tired, and I got to work in the morning. So, but thank you for talking to me though.
Oh, hey, no problem. I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out where I was going and kind of got into your video.
Oh, you're fine. That's what I want. If you want to join in and talk, it's a lot easier if I get more people to do that than trying to read the text and look all over the place. Like sometimes I look like I'm going crazy because I'm looking all over my screen. But it'd be nice, just to have people up on the screen so I have one place to look.
Yeah, I'll try next time. I'll try to pull out my laptop. This way I actually have a camera.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.
Alrighty, have a good evening.
You too.